So now this video is going to cover steps 13 through 20. We're adding a shape to your slide. And what this is going to do is teach you how to add shapes or different items to your slides. Now I happen to have you doing this on the master, adding a rectangle behind the slide title. But this can be done on any of your individual slides. The steps for adding drop shadows or bevels will be the same for anything that you're adding to your slides. I just happen to be teaching it to you in this place. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you click on the Insert tab on the toolbar and then click on the Shapes button. But when we go there, I'm going to show you that, again, Microsoft likes to add multiple ways to do the same thing, so I'll show you that it's actually available on the Home tab as well. But I'm going to have you officially do it with Insert Shapes. Alright, so here we are in PowerPoint. We have already selected the master for the title and content. That's this third one down, or the second one under the main level. So we're already selected on that. And if you take a look, we're on the Home tab. And over here, there is the ability to add shapes under this drawing panel in the ribbon. This is going to be very familiar when I show you the main way to get to inserting a shape. But this is exactly the same tools. If you want to use it here, you can, but I'm still going to show you that if you go to the Insert tab, which is step 13 in your lab, click on Insert, and then Add Shapes. And you'll see this big long list of all of the different shapes that are available that you can add. There are lines and rectangles and various shapes like hearts and smiley faces, arrows. Now I want to show you, if you decide to do it from the Home tab, where you can get all those same tools. So you see that this is a much shorter list. You've got an up arrow and a down arrow, and then this guy, which is a down arrow with a line above it, that means more. And when you click on that, you'll get that exact same list again. Okay, so that should look familiar. But let's go ahead and go back to Insert, Shapes, and then here's that list. And what I want you to do is choose the rectangle. Now, I have it up here because these are all of the tools that I have used recently. So that's under Recently Used Shapes. But if it doesn't show up at the top for you as a rectangle, rectangles are right here, and there are different styles of rectangles you can choose. I'm going to have you just choose this first one, which is what you're going to do in step 14. Alright, so once you select that tool by left-clicking on it, you'll see that you now have this plus symbol. Now what we're going to do is we're going to click and drag, and that's going to draw a rectangle. And you want to decide ahead of time, how big do you want it, where do you want it. This is the text box that we're going to be drawing this rectangle to go behind. So I'm going to draw it a little bit larger than my text box. And now I'm just going to, without letting go of that mouse, drag it over. I want both sides to be fairly equal in distance from the sides. So that's good. It's aligned on the top and bottom, and it looks like I've got about the same amount of overhang on the left and right side of the text box. So now I'm going to let go of my mouse. Alright, when I release the mouse button, it drops it right here. Now at the moment it's still selected, and you know that because you've got those white circles on the edges and the corners. Step number 16 has us bringing it behind the text, because right now you don't see that text for the title anymore. We've covered it over. Because every time you add something to PowerPoint, it adds it on top of the things that were already there. But we want this rectangle to be behind the text. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to click on the Home tab, then click on Arrange, which is over here. That's what this is. I'm going to click on that. And then we're going to Send to Back. Now we have a choice. We could just send it backwards one level, but we know that we want this rectangle to be behind everything. So I'm going to go ahead and send it to the very back behind everything else on this slide. And when I do that, now the rectangle is behind the text. So that was step 16. Step 17 is talking about the fact that you can use these circles. Up until now, I've just been talking about the circles telling you that it's selected. But the circles themselves have a function. And what you'll see is that if you hover your mouse over them, you'll get double-headed arrows. And what that's telling you that you can do is left click and hold, and you can then drag it to resize that box. If you grab it in the corner, you can do two sides at once, but the tops, the bottoms, and the very sides just go one direction or the other. So you can make it shorter, narrower, or with these corners, you can do both at once. So that's what step 17 is telling you that you can do. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a black line around the outside of my object. Right now everything is still default. So that's shape outline. So shape fill is what goes inside. Shape outline is the line that goes around the outside. So we're going to click on that. You do have the ability to have no outline at all. So no line. And you can see when I just hover over that no outline, you can see that there are no lines. But I'm going to go ahead and change it to black. So just go ahead and click that. And now we have a distinct black line around the outside of my rectangle. And you can choose any color you want, or you can choose to have no line. Okay, and that was it for step 20.